The massive ship drifted through the darkness of space like a sleeping giant. Its metal hull was 15 kilometers long and covered with scars from old battles. The ship had been floating here for 400 years, silent and still, but deep. Inside, something was starting to wake up. Captain Lee Hyun felt cold metal against his back as his eyes opened. The air tasted stale and old. His body felt heavy and slow, like he had been sleeping for a very long time. Blue lights flickered on around him as his sleeping pod opened with a soft hiss. He sat up slowly and looked around. The command center was dark except for a few blinking lights. Everything felt wrong. This was not how he remembered going to sleep. The last thing he could remember was the ship shaking violently and alarms going off everywhere. "Aria, report," Lee Hyun said in a rough voice. His throat felt dry as sand. A soft female voice filled the room. "Captain, revival process complete. You have been in emergency hibernation for 403 years, 7 months, and 12 days. Lee Hyun's heart stopped for a moment. 400 years? That was impossible. Their mission was supposed to last only 6 months. They were sent to explore a strange energy signal in deep space and then return to Earth. What happened to our mission? Where is the rest of the crew? He asked. Unknown energy phenomenon disabled ship systems. Emergency protocols activated. Beginning crew revival now, Aria replied. More pods began opening around the command center. Admiral Park Soo emerged first, coughing and shaking his head. He was older than Lee Hyun and had led many space missions before. His gray hair was longer now, and his face looked pale. "Hyun, what is our status?" Park Soo asked as he stood up on shaky legs. "We have been asleep for 400 years, Lee Hyun said. The words felt strange in his mouth. Commander Kim Jae climbed out of her pod next. She was the ship's head of fighting operations and one of the best tactical minds in the human fleet. Her dark eyes quickly scanned the room, looking for danger out of habit. 400 years, she said. That means Earth. Our families are all gone, Lee Hyun finished for her. The truth hit all of them like a heavy weight. More crew members began waking up. Dr. Yoon Hana's voice came from the science section, asking for status reports. Lieutenant Choi Min called out from the weapons control area. Engineer Kong Do started, checking the ship's power systems. "Area, what is the condition of our ship?" Admiral Park Soo asked. "The Eternal Dawn is operating at 97% efficiency. All major systems have been maintained during hibernation. Weapons are ready. Engines are ready. Life support is stable," the AI responded. Lee Hyun walked to the main viewing screen. Outside, stars filled the darkness, but they were not the stars he remembered from Earth's sky. Everything looked different. "Aria, scan for human settlements. Look for Earth communications. Find our people," he ordered. The AI was quiet for a long moment. When it spoke again, its voice seemed sadder. "Captain, I detect no human communications in any direction. Earth's location shows no energy signatures consistent with advanced civilization." "What do you mean?" Kim Jae asked, joining them at the screen. "I mean Earth is silent. No radio signals, no spacecraft, no cities. It appears to be empty." The command center became very quiet. Engineer Kang Do looked up from his control panel with worry in his eyes. "Captain, I am detecting something else. There are many ships moving in this area. They are not human ships." "Show me," Lee Hyun said. The main screen changed to show radar contacts. Hundreds of ships were moving through nearby star systems. Their designs were strange and alien. Some looked like metal birds, others like floating crystals, and some were shaped like sea creatures. "Aria, try to contact them using first contact protocols," Admiral Park Soo ordered. Sending standard greeting messages in 47 languages, Aria replied. They waited. Minutes passed. Then a response came, but it was not friendly. Unknown. "Vessel, this is Coalition Fleet Command. You are in restricted space. Identify yourself immediately, or face destruction." Lee Hyun looked at his officers. The Coalition? He had never heard of any coalition before their mission began. "This is Captain Lee Hyun of the Earthship Eternal Dawn. We are human explorers, returning from deep space." We request safe passage and information about current galactic conditions. The response came quickly. Too quickly, as if the alien commander had been expecting this. Human? Impossible. The human species was declared extinct 350 years ago. You are either lying or you are some kind of trick. Prepare to be boarded for investigation. Kim J's hands moved to her weapon controls. Captain, they think humans are extinct. Something very bad happened after we left. Dr. Song Yi's voice came over the communication system from the science labs. Captain, I am reading their ship designs. These aliens are using technology that looks like our old weapons and engines. They have been copying our equipment. How many ships are coming toward us? Lee Hyun asked. 400 ships, Captain, Choi Min reported from Tactical. They are forming an attack formation. Admiral Park Soo moved closer to Lee Hyun. What are your orders, Captain? Lee Hyun looked at the alien fleet on the screen. 400 years. Ego humans had been a powerful force in the galaxy. They had built great ships and explored many worlds. Now, aliens thought they were extinct and were treating their ship like a ghost from the past. Bring all weapons online, Lee Hyun said. Charge the main plasma cannons. Ready the fighter bays, but do not fire unless they fire first. Yes, Captain, Kim J replied, her fingers dancing over the control panels. The Eternal Dawn had been built during humanity's golden age of space travel. It carried enough weapons to fight entire fleets. It had 200,000 crew members, though most were still sleeping. Its armor could protect against almost any attack. Area, send another message to the aliens, Lee Hyun said. Tell them that the human race is not extinct. Tell them we are back. And tell them that we remember everything that happened before we left. Message sent, Captain. The alien response was immediate. You will surrender immediately. Human ships are not allowed in Coalition space. You will be taken apart and studied. Your crew will be processed according to Coalition law. Kim J looked up from her controls. Captain, they are moving into attack position. Should I fire a warning shot? Lee Hyun thought for a moment. These aliens believed humans were extinct. They were using human technology, and they were threatening to destroy his ship and crew. Something terrible had happened while the Eternal Dawn slept. Negative. Target their lead ship's engines only. Show them what human weapons can do, but do not kill anyone yet. We need to understand what happened to our people. Understood, Captain. The Eternal Dawn's main plasma cannon fired once. A bright blue beam shot across space and hit the lead. Alien ship perfectly. The alien vessel's engines exploded, but the ship remained intact. It drifted helplessly as its crew tried to figure out what had hit them. This is Captain Lee Hyun, he said into the communication system. That was a warning. The next shot will not be so gentle. Now, someone is going to explain to me what happened to humanity and why you think you can threaten us. The alien fleet stopped moving. For the first time in 400 years, humans had spoken in the galaxy, and the aliens were listening. Admiral, Park Soo smiled grimly. Welcome back to galactic politics, Captain. Indeed, Lee Hyun replied, watching the alien ships on his screen. But this time, we will not be so easy to remove. Admiral Thexara stood on the bridge of the Coalition flagship Dominion's Pride, her feathers ruffled with anger. The bird-like alien had commanded Coalition fleets for 50 years, but she had never seen anything like this. A single shot from the mysterious ship had disabled her most powerful cruiser without destroying it. That level of precision was impossible. What kind of weapon was that? She demanded from her tactical officer. Unknown, Admiral. The energy signature is unlike anything in our databases. But, the officer paused, looking worried. But what? The weapon design appears to be based on ancient Terran technology, the kind we found on dead human worlds. Thexara's yellow eyes narrowed. The Terrans had been extinct for centuries. Everyone knew that. The Coalition had made sure of it during the Great Cleansing. Yet here was a ship using their weapons and claiming to be human. On the Eternal Dawn, Captain Lee Hyun waited for a response from the alien fleet. The silence stretched for several minutes before a new voice came through the communication system. This is Admiral Thexara of the Valerian Third Fleet. I command 400 ships of the Galactic Coalition. You will explain how you possess Terran military technology. Because we are Terrans. Lee Hyun replied simply. We are humans, and we want to know what happened to our people. Impossible. The human species was eliminated during the Terran Wars 350 years ago. They were too violent and dangerous to be allowed to exist. Commander Kim Jae looked up from her station with shock in her eyes. Captain, did she just say we were eliminated? Admiral Park Soo moved closer to the communication panel. Admiral Thexara, this is Admiral Park Soo of the Earth Defense Force. Please explain what you mean by eliminated. Another pause. Then Thexara's voice returned, sounding less certain than before. The Terrans started wars across the galaxy. They attacked peaceful worlds and enslaved other species. The coalition was formed to stop them. We drove them from civilized space and destroyed their military forces. Dr. Song Yi's voice came over the internal communication system. Captain, I am analyzing their ship configurations. Many of their vessels are using modified human engine designs. Their weapons are based on our plasma technology. Even their communication systems are copied from human equipment. Lee Hyun felt anger building in his chest. These aliens had not just fought humans. They had stolen human technology and then claimed humans were the aggressors. Admiral Thexara, he said carefully, you say humans were violent and dangerous, yet your fleet is the one threatening to destroy us. You are the ones pointing weapons at a single ship that has harmed no one. You disabled one of my cruisers. We disabled your engines to prevent you from attacking us. We could have destroyed your entire ship, but we chose not to kill anyone. Does that sound like the behavior of a violent species? On the bridge of the Dominion's Pride, Thexara was having trouble with this conversation. The old record said, humans were savage creatures who killed without mercy. But this human captain was being very reasonable and had shown restraint when he could have caused great damage. Lieutenant Choi Min worked at his station on the Eternal Dawn, listening to alien communications. Captain, I am picking up chatter between their ships. Many of them are arguing about what to do. Some want to attack us, but others are afraid. Afraid of what? Kim Jae asked. Afraid that we might not be alone. Several alien commanders are asking if there might be other human ships out there. Admiral Park Soo smiled. Are there other ships, Area? The AI's voice filled the bridge. Long-range sensors detect 17 human vessels in nearby star systems. All appear to be awakening from extended hibernation. 17 ships, Lee Hyun said. How many people total? Approximately 3 million humans, Admiral. The Colonial Defense Fleet, the Deep Space Explorer Corps, and several science vessels are all beginning revival procedures. Kim Jae laughed. 3 million humans with the best military technology from our era. These aliens have a problem. Arya, Lee Hyun said, send a broad-spectrum message to all human ships. Tell them to proceed with caution, but to be ready for conflict. Then broadcast our current situation to them. Message sent, Captain. Thexara was receiving disturbing reports from her sensor operators. More ships were awakening across several star systems. All of them had the same energy signatures as the vessel in front of her. How many? She asked her science officer. Unknown, Admiral. But we are detecting at least 15 large vessels and dozens of smaller ships. If they are all human ships, then we have a serious problem, Thexara finished. Her communication officer looked up with worry. Admiral, we are receiving new transmissions. The unknown vessel is broadcasting on all frequencies in 47 different languages. Some of these languages have been dead for centuries. What are they saying? They are identifying themselves as the Earth ship Eternal Dawn, returning from a deep space mission. They are asking for information about current galactic conditions and the status of human colonies. Thexara's feathers stood up with fear. Human colonies? The Coalition had destroyed all human worlds during the cleansing. They had hunted down every human settlement and eliminated them. It had taken 50 years to complete the task. Admiral, her tactical officer said quietly, we are receiving new contacts. 2 more ships just appeared on our sensors. They are moving toward our position. On the Eternal Dawn's main screen, Lee Hyun watched as 2 more human ships dropped out of faster-than-light travel. The Terra Nova and the New Horizon took positions on either side of the Eternal Dawn. Both ships were nearly as large as his own vessel. This is Captain Shin Ae of the Terra Nova, came a voice over the communication system. "We received your message, Captain Lee. What is our situation?" "We are surrounded by 400 alien ships. They claim humans are extinct and that we were eliminated 350 years ago," Lee Hyun replied. "Eliminated?" Captain Shin A's voice became cold. "Who eliminated us?" "The Galactic Coalition. The same aliens who are pointing weapons at us right now." Captain Bae Jun of the New Horizon joined the conversation. "Captain Lee, my science teams are analyzing the alien fleet. They are using our technology, our weapons, our engines, our shields. Everything has been stolen from human designs." Admiral Park Soo activated the external communication system. "Admiral Thex Ara, you now face 3 human supercarriers. Each one carries enough firepower to destroy your entire fleet. We suggest you reconsider your hostile approach." Thexara stared at her tactical display in horror. 3 massive ships faced her fleet, and more were appearing on long-range sensors. Each human vessel was larger than her flagship, and clearly more advanced than anything the Coalition possessed. "This is impossible," she whispered. "We destroyed them all. We made sure they were extinct." Her intelligence officer spoke up nervously. "Admiral, I am reading historical files from the archives. During the Terran Wars, Coalition forces reported destroying human military fleets, but..." He paused. "But what?" "But many human ships were reported as missing rather than destroyed. Command assumed they had fled to unknown space." Thexara felt sick. The Coalition leadership had told everyone that all humans were dead. They had built their entire civilization on the idea that the violent Terrans were gone forever. But they had been wrong. "Admiral Thexara," Lee Hyun's voice came through her communication system. "We are going to ask you some questions, and you are going to answer them honestly. First question, what happened to the human colonies on New Terra, Kepler Prime, and Alpha Centauri?" Thexara closed her eyes. Those had been the first worlds the Coalition destroyed during the cleansing. They were eliminated for the safety of galactic civilization. Eliminated how? Orbital bombardment. Complete sterilization. No survivors. The communication channel went silent for a long moment. When Lee Hyun spoke again, his voice was very quiet and very dangerous. "You destroyed entire worlds full of families, children, scientists, artists, farmers, billions of innocent people." "They were not innocent," Thexara said desperately. "Humans were violent. They started wars." "Did the children start wars, Admiral? Did the farmers and artists and scientists start wars?" Thexara had no answer for that. Admiral Park Soo's voice joined the conversation. "Admiral, we are going to give you 2 choices. You can order your fleet to withdraw and arrange a meeting between Coalition leadership and human representatives. Or you can try to fight 3 human supercarriers with stolen human technology. Which choice do you think will work better for you?" Thexara looked at her tactical display again. Her 400 ships suddenly seemed very small compared to the 3 human vessels. And if there were more human ships awakening across the galaxy... I need to contact Coalition Command," she said finally. "You have 1 hour," Lee Hyun replied. "After that, we will assume you have chosen to fight." The communication ended. Thexara sat in her command chair, staring at the human ships on her screen. Everything the Coalition had built was based on the belief that humans were gone forever. Now they were back, and they were not happy about what they had found. Admiral Park Soo stood in the archive chamber deep inside the Eternal Dawn. The room was filled with millions of data storage units, each one containing pieces of human history. For 400 years, these records had waited in the darkness. Now it was time to learn the truth. "Area, activate the historical archives. I want to see everything about human-alien relations before our mission began," he said. The walls came alive with holographic displays. Images of human colonies appeared everywhere. New Terra with its floating cities above crystal blue oceans. Kepler Prime with its massive farms feeding billions of people. Alpha Centauri with its research stations unlocking the secrets of the universe. "Show me the last communications from these worlds," Park Soo ordered. The first message made his blood run cold. A woman's voice, filled with terror, spoke from New Terra. "This is Governor Chen Li. We are under attack by unknown alien forces. They are not responding to our communications. They are bombing our cities. Please, if anyone receives this message, tell Earth that we tried to surrender. They would not listen. They are killing everyone." The message ended in static. More messages followed. From Kepler Prime. "The aliens have surrounded our planet. They demand complete evacuation, but they are shooting our transport ships as they try to leave. This is not a military action. This is extermination. From Alpha Centauri, Research Station 7, to any human vessel. We have discovered the aliens are using our own technology against us. They have been studying our ships and copying our weapons. We believe this has been planned for years. We are sending all our research data to the Deep Space Fleet. Remember, us." Admiral Park Soo felt sick. These were not the actions of aliens defending themselves against human aggression. This was genocide. On the bridge, Intelligence Officer Wan Tai was working with a different kind of data. He had broken into the Coalition Fleet's communication systems and was reading their current orders. "Captain Lee," he called out, "you need to see this." Lee Hyun looked at the decoded message on Wan Tai's screen. "What am I reading?" "Current Coalition orders, sir. Supreme Chancellor Mordex has authorized the use of special weapons against any human ships that appear. They call it Final Cleansing Protocol. Special weapons? Planet killers, Captain. The same weapons they used to destroy human worlds 300 years ago. Commander Kim Jae joined them at the intelligence station. They are planning to finish what they started." "There is more," Wan Tai continued. "The Coalition has been searching for sleeping human ships for centuries. They have teams whose only job is to find and destroy any remaining human vessels. We are not the first to wake up." "What do you mean?" 12 human ships have awakened over the past 50 years. All were destroyed before they could fully revive their crews. The Coalition calls them ghost ships and has a special fleet just for hunting them. Lee Hyun felt rage building inside him. Not only had the aliens destroyed human civilization, but they had been hunting down survivors for centuries. In the science section, Dr. Song Yi was making her own disturbing discoveries. She had been analyzing the energy signatures from the Coalition fleet and comparing them to human technology records. "Dr. Yoon Hana," she called to her colleague, "look at these weapon patterns." Yoon Hana studied the data on Song Yi's screen. "These are definitely based on human plasma technology, but they have been modified." "Modified how?" "Made less efficient on purpose. The aliens have been using inferior versions of our weapons for centuries." "Why would they do that?" Yoon Hana's eyes widened as she understood. "Because if they used the full power of human technology, other alien species would ask where they got it. By making it less efficient, they could claim they developed it themselves." Song Yi nodded. "The Coalition has been stealing human technology and pretending they invented it. They built their entire civilization on our work." On the bridge, communications specialist Lee Da was monitoring dozens of alien communication channels. What she heard made her very interested. "Captain," she called out, "several alien species in the Coalition fleet are arguing with each other." "About what?" "About whether humans were really as violent as the history books say. Some of them are questioning why a single human ship would show restraint if humans were supposed to be savage killers." Lee Hyun smiled grimly. "Keep listening. Record everything." "There is something else, Captain. I am detecting hidden communications between some alien ships and unknown recipients. They are using very old encryption, but I think I can break it." "Do it." 30 minutes later, Lee Da had her answer. "Captain, some of the alien species in this fleet have been secretly communicating with resistance groups in Coalition space. There are aliens who oppose the Coalition government." "How many?" "Hard to say, but the messages suggest there are entire worlds that want to break free from Coalition control. They have been waiting for something to change the balance of power." Admiral Park Soo returned to the bridge with a grim expression. "Captain, I have reviewed the historical archives. What the Coalition did to humanity was not a war. It was a planned extermination campaign." He activated the main display screen. Images of destroyed human worlds appeared, along with recorded communications and battle reports. The Coalition spent 20 years preparing for their attack on humanity. They studied our technology, learned our military tactics, and identified our weaknesses. When they finally attacked, they did not target military bases first. They targeted civilian populations. "Why?" Kim Jae asked. "Because they were afraid of us," Park Sue replied. The historical records show that human technology was advancing faster than any other species in the galaxy. Human ships were better. Human weapons were more powerful. Human science was discovering things that other species could not understand. So they decided to eliminate the competition, Lee Hyun said. Exactly. But they made one mistake. They never found the deep space. Fleets. Ships like ours that were exploring the outer edges of the galaxy. Dr. Yoon Hana's voice came over the communication system from the science labs. Captain, I have been analyzing the Coalition's historical records that we captured from their ship databases. I found something very disturbing. What is it, Doctor? The energy phenomenon that disabled our ship and forced us into hibernation was not natural. It was artificial. The Coalition created a weapon specifically designed to knock out human ships without destroying them. Why would they do that? Because they wanted to study our technology. They needed intact human ships to reverse engineer our equipment. We were not the only ship hit by this weapon. Intelligence Officer Wan Tae looked up from his station. Doctor, how many ships were affected? Based on the Coalition records, at least 50 human vessels were disabled by these weapons. Most were found and destroyed after the Coalition finished studying them, but some, like us, drifted too far into deep space to be recovered. That means there could be other ships still out there, Lee Hyun said. Yes, Captain. Probably dozens of them. Lee Hyun made a decision. Arya, broadcast a wide-spectrum message on all human emergency frequencies. Tell any sleeping human ships to wake up and join us. Include our current position and status. Message sent, Captain. Within hours, responses began arriving. Ship after ship reported awakening from long hibernation. The Prometheus, the New Hope, the Star Ranger, the Deep Explorer. Each ship carried tens of thousands of humans and advanced technology. But the most important message came from an unexpected source. Communications specialist Lee Da received a transmission on an encrypted channel she had not used in centuries. Captain, she said with excitement, I am receiving a message from Earth. Earth? But the aliens said it was empty. This is not coming from the planet's surface. It is coming from the asteroid belt. Someone is hiding in the outer system. The message was short and desperate. This is General Kim Dae of the Earth Resistance. We have been hiding for 300 years, waiting for our ships to return. Please respond if you are human. Lee Hyun grabbed the communication device. General, Kim? This is Captain Lee Hyun of the Eternal Dawn. We are human and we are very much alive. Captain Lee, thank the stars. We have been watching Coalition communications. We know you are facing their fleet. General, how many humans are left? On Earth? 50 million, Captain. We have been living in hidden bases throughout the solar system. We saved as many people as we could when the Coalition attacked. We have been preparing for this day for 3 centuries. Admiral Park Sue leaned forward. General, what can you tell us about Coalition weaknesses? Everything, Admiral. We have been studying them for 300 years. We know their technology, their politics, their military tactics, and most importantly, we know which alien species hate the Coalition government as much as we do. Which species? Half of them, Admiral. The Coalition rules through fear and oppression. Many of their member species joined only because they had no choice. If humans return to the galaxy, many aliens will see it as a chance to break free. Lee Hyun looked at his officers. They had awakened expecting to find humanity extinct. Instead, they had discovered that their people had survived, that other human ships were awakening across the galaxy, and that many alien species were ready to rebel against the Coalition. General Kim, he said, we are going to need your help. But first, we have a Coalition fleet to D. Supreme Chancellor Mordex sat in his command chamber on the Coalition capital world, staring at the emergency reports flooding his screens. The reptilian leader's scaled skin had turned a dark green color, which meant he was very angry and very afraid. 17 human ships confirmed awakened, his intelligence minister reported. More signals detected across the Outer Rim territories. Admiral Thexara's fleet has been unable to eliminate the initial contact group. How is that possible? Mordex hissed. We have 400 ships against 3 human vessels. The human ships are much more advanced than our records indicated. Chancellor, they are using technology we have never seen before. Mordex slammed his clawed hand on his desk. Impossible! We studied human technology for decades. We know everything about their capabilities." "Apparently not, Chancellor." Another aide rushed into the room. "Chancellor, we have bigger problems. The human ships are broadcasting historical records across all frequencies. They are showing recordings of the cleansing operations." "What recordings?" "Everything, sir. Communications from human colonies as they were destroyed, videos of orbital bombardments, military reports discussing extermination tactics. The humans kept records of everything." Mordex felt cold fear in his chest. The Coalition had told its people that humans were destroyed in fair combat after they attacked peaceful worlds. The truth was very different, and if it got out, the Coalition would face massive rebellion. Jam all communications. Stop those broadcasts. "We have tried, Chancellor. The human ships are using transmission methods we cannot block. The truth is spreading across the galaxy faster than we can contain it." On the Eternal Dawn, communications specialist Li Da was coordinating the largest information campaign in galactic history. Every human ship was broadcasting Coalition records, human, historical archives, and evidence of the genocide. "Captain," she reported, "we are receiving responses from 47 different worlds. Many Coalition member species are demanding explanations from their governments." "What kind of responses?" Li Hyun asked. "Shock, mostly. Many aliens had no idea that the Coalition destroyed entire human populations. They were told that humans were eliminated in military combat after starting wars." Commander Kim Jae looked up from her tactical station. "Captain, the Coalition fleet is powering up weapons. I think they are preparing to attack." "Let them come," Li Hyun replied. "Arya, are our defenses ready?" "All systems optimal, Captain. The ship's AI has been upgrading our defensive capabilities during hibernation. Current shield strength is 400% above original specifications." 400%? "The ship's artificial intelligence has been learning and improving. For 4 centuries, Captain. The Eternal Dawn is no longer the same vessel that went to sleep." Admiral Park Soo studied the tactical display with interest. "Arya, what other improvements have you made?" "Weapon efficiency increased by 600%. Engine power doubled. Manufacturing capabilities expanded. The ship can now produce its own fighter craft and support vessels." Engineer Kang Do looked amazed. "Arya, how is that possible?" "During hibernation, I continued research using the ship's science databases. I also analyzed every piece of Coalition technology we encountered. Human science was always superior, but the Coalition has provided many examples of what not to do. The first Coalition attack came without warning. 100 ships fired their most powerful weapons at the 3 human vessels. The space around the human ships filled with energy beams, plasma bolts, and explosive missiles. When the light faded, the human ships were undamaged. "Shields holding at 98%, Kim Jae reported calmly. "Is that all they have?" Captain Shin Ai asked over the communication channel from the Terra Nova. "Apparently," Captain Bae Jun replied from the New Horizon. "Should we respond?" Li Hyun considered his options. He could destroy the entire Coalition fleet with a few shots, but that would make humanity look like the aggressors the Coalition claimed they were. Negative, he decided. Target their weapon systems only. Disable their ability to fight, but do not destroy their ships. Understood. The 3 human ships returned fire. Their weapons were precisely controlled, striking Coalition vessels with incredible accuracy. Within minutes, over half the Coalition fleet was helpless, their weapons destroyed but their ships intact. Admiral Thexera watched in horror as her fleet was systematically disabled. The human weapons were unlike anything she had ever seen. They could strike individual components on a ship without damaging anything else. "Admiral," her tactical officer said quietly, "we have lost all offensive capability. They have not killed a single crew member, but we cannot fight back." "How is that possible?" "Their weapons are controlled by artificial intelligence that can calculate precise targeting solutions in real time. They are not trying to destroy us. They are trying to capture us." On the Coalition capital world, Chancellor Mordex was receiving increasingly desperate reports. "The human fleet has grown to over 30 ships," his military commander reported. "They have disabled 6 Coalition battle groups without causing significant casualties." "Without casualties? What kind of strategy is that?" "Unknown, Chancellor. But it is having a serious effect on Coalition morale. Many of our member species are beginning to question why we are fighting beings who show such restraint. Restraint? These are the same monsters who destroyed our peaceful expansion. Chancellor, we need to discuss something. The historical records the humans are broadcasting. Some of them show coalition forces attacking human civilian targets. First, Mordex's eyes blazed with anger. Those records are obviously fake. Sir, they include communications from our own commanders during the cleansing. These are our records, taken from our databases. The Chancellor fell silent. The truth was that he had been a young officer during the cleansing. He remembered the orders. The coalition had attacked human civilians deliberately, hoping to provoke human military forces into making mistakes. Dr. Song Yi was working frantically in the Eternal Dawn science section, analyzing the disabled coalition ships. "Captain," she called over the communication system, "I have found something very disturbing." "What is it, Doctor?" "The coalition ships contain holding cells designed for human prisoners. They were not just planning to destroy us. They were planning to capture and study us." "How many cells?" "Enough for thousands of people, Captain. But there is something else. I am detecting human life signs on some of the coalition ships." Li Hyun felt his heart stop. "Humans? Alive?" "Yes, Captain. They appear to be in some kind of suspended animation. These aliens have been keeping human prisoners for centuries. How many? Unknown. But I am reading at least 50 human life signs just in this fleet." Commander Kim Jae stood up from her station. "Captain, request permission to board the coalition ships and rescue our people." "Granted. Take a full Marine company. Bring them home." As Kim Jae prepared her boarding teams, Intelligence Officer Wan Tae made another discovery. "Captain, I have intercepted coalition communications with their capital world. Chancellor Mordex has authorized the use of planet-killer weapons against us." "Planet killers?" "The same weapons they use to destroy human worlds. But, sir, there is a problem. They are planning to use them in this system. That will destroy everything within several light years, including their own ships." Admiral Park Soo looked grim. "They would rather commit suicide than let us live." "That is what it looks like, Admiral." Li Hyun made a decision that would change galactic history. "Aria, open a communication channel to all coalition ships and their capital world. Maximum power broadcast." "Channel open, Captain." "This is Captain Li Hyun of the Earth ship Eternal Dawn, speaking to all coalition forces and leadership. You have two choices. You can continue this fight and face the consequences, or you can begin honest negotiations for a new galactic order." "We do not negotiate with extinct species," came Chancellor Mordex's reply. "Chancellor, we are obviously not extinct, and we are not alone. By our count, 47 human ships have awakened across the galaxy, carrying over 5 million humans. Earth itself has 50 million survivors. We are not a ghost from your past. We are your future." "Impossible." "Admiral Thexara, please inform your Chancellor about the current condition of your fleet." Admiral Thexara spoke reluctantly. "Chancellor, they have disabled our entire force without killing anyone. Their technology is far beyond ours." "Then we will use the final option." "Chancellor," Li Hyun interrupted, "if you use planet killer weapons in this system, you will murder your own people along with us. Is genocide really worth that price? You murdered billions of our people during your expansion." "Chancellor, we are broadcasting coalition records that prove human worlds were attacked first. Your own military reports show that the coalition began the war by destroying civilian targets. We have the proof." Across the galaxy, billions of beings were watching this conversation. On worlds throughout coalition space, people were learning the truth about the cleansing for the first time. On the aquatic world of Delios, the fish-like Delians were demanding answers from their government. On the crystal world of Zerith, the crystalline beings were questioning why they had supported the genocide. Even on Valeria, Admiral Thexara's own people were protesting in the streets. "Chancellor," came a new voice. Chancellor Mordex stood alone in his command center, watching his empire crumble around him. Half of the coalition species had withdrawn their support, and the other half were demanding explanations he could not give. The truth about the human genocide was spreading faster than he could contain it. "Sir," his aide said nervously, "the Delian Republic has officially left the coalition. The Zerithians are demanding war crimes trials, even some of our own hegemony. Worlds are questioning our actions. How many ships do we still control? Mordex asked. Less than 200, Chancellor, and most of those commanders are asking for new orders. Mordex's clawed hands gripped his command chair. Everything he had worked for was falling apart because of these returned humans. But he still had one weapon left. The planet killers were ancient devices from the early days of the Coalition, powerful enough to destroy entire star systems. Activate the final protocol, he ordered. If we cannot win, then no one can. On the Eternal Dawn, Intelligence Officer Wante was tracking Coalition communications when he detected the activation signal. Captain, he called out urgently, the Chancellor has activated something called Final Protocol. I am reading massive energy buildup from 3 Coalition dreadnoughts. What kind of energy? Li Hyun asked. Unknown, but the power levels are enormous. Whatever they are charging, it could destroy everything in this system. Admiral Park Soo moved to the tactical display. Arya, can you identify the weapon type? Analyzing. Energy patterns, the AI replied. Warning, detected weapon signature matches theoretical planet killer devices. Estimated effective range, 3 light-years radius. 3 light-years? Commander Kim Jae said with shock. That would wipe out 17 inhabited worlds in nearby systems. How long until they can fire? Lee Hyun asked. Approximately 12 minutes, Captain. Lee Hyun looked at his officers. The Coalition was planning to commit the ultimate act of spite. Rather than admit they were wrong, they would destroy billions of innocent lives. All human ships, this is Captain Lee Hyun. The Coalition is preparing to use planet-killer weapons. We need to stop them before they can fire. Captain Shin Ai's voice came from the Terra Nova. How do we stop a planet killer? We destroy the ships carrying them, Captain Baejun replied from the New Horizon. Negative, Lee Hyun said firmly. If we destroy those ships while they are charging, the explosions could still devastate the system. We need another solution. Engineer. Kang Do looked up from his station. Captain, I might have an idea. The Arya has been upgrading our systems for 400 years. What if we use our tractor beams to redirect the weapons? Redirect them where? Into empty space, away from inhabited systems. Dr. Yoon Hana's voice came over the communication system from the science labs. Captain, that is extremely dangerous. If we make a mistake, the weapons could still hit populated worlds. Do we have any other options? I am working on something, she replied. Give me 5 minutes. Meanwhile, communication specialist Lee Da was coordinating with resistance groups across Coalition space. The truth about the genocide had sparked rebellions on dozens of worlds. Captain, she reported, we are receiving messages from Coalition member worlds. Many of them are demanding that their governments withdraw from this conflict immediately. What are they saying? The Aquatic Assembly of Delios has declared the Coalition government illegitimate. The crystal mines of Zareth are threatening to cut off all trade. Even some Valerian colonies are joining the resistance. Admiral Thexara was facing her own crisis on the bridge of the Dominion's Pride. Her crew was listening to the broadcasts from their home world, where millions of Valerians were protesting in the streets. Admiral, her first officer said quietly, our government has ordered us to withdraw from Coalition forces. I heard the order, Thexara replied. Admiral, what are your instructions? Thexara looked at the tactical display showing the 3 hegemony dreadnoughts charging their planet. Killers. Her people had joined the Coalition because they believed it would bring peace to the galaxy. Instead, it had brought genocide and was now planning mass suicide. Signal all Valerian ships, she said finally. We are withdrawing from Coalition forces. Any ship that wishes to join the human fleet in stopping the planet killers may do so. On the Eternal Dawn, Dr. Yoon Hana had found a solution, but it was risky. Captain, she called from the science lab, I think I can neutralize the planet killers, but I need to get close to them. How close? Very close. I need to use our shuttle to plant a quantum destabilizer on each weapon. It will cause the weapons to collapse harmlessly instead of exploding. That is a suicide mission, Doctor. Not necessarily. If I can modify the shuttle's shields using Arya's upgrades, I might be able to survive the energy feedback. Lee Hyun considered the options. They had 8 minutes left before the weapons fired. Do it, he decided. Commander Kim Jae, escort Dr. Yoon Hana to the shuttle bay. Give her whatever support she needs. As Dr. Yoon Hana prepared for her dangerous mission, Lieutenant Choi Min made an unexpected discovery. "Captain, I am detecting new contacts. Multiple way. Ships are dropping out of faster-than-light travel." "Coalition reinforcements?" "No, sir. These are ships from the species that withdrew from the Coalition. Delian vessels, Zerithian crystal ships, and..." He paused in surprise. "Valerian warships led by Admiral Thexara." Admiral Thexara's voice came over the communication system. "Captain Lee Hyun, this is Admiral Thexara of the Valerian Free Fleet. We are here to help stop the planet killers." "Admiral, why are you helping us?" "Because my people did not join the Coalition to commit genocide. We joined to prevent it. It is time we remembered that." More ships arrived by the minute. The Delian Republic sent their powerful submarine-like vessels. The Zerithians deployed ships that looked like flying crystals. Even some hegemony commanders began defecting, bringing their ships over to the growing alliance. "Captain," Wan Tae reported, "we now have over 600 ships standing with us against the planet killers." 600? "Yes, sir. It appears that most Coalition species are more afraid of Chancellor Mordex than they are of us." Dr. Yoon Hana launched her shuttle just as the planet killers reached critical charge. She had 3 targets to hit in less than 4 minutes. First target, acquired, she reported over the communication system. "Beginning approach." The modified shuttle slipped through the defensive fire from the hegemony ships. Dr. Yoon Hana's hands moved quickly over her controls as she attached the first quantum destabilizer to the nearest dreadnought. "1 down, 2 to go," she said. The second approach was more difficult. The hegemony ships had figured out what she was doing and concentrated their fire on her shuttle. But the other ships in the Alliance were providing covering fire, keeping the hegemony forces distracted. "Second device planted," Dr. Yoon Hana reported. "Moving to final target." The third dreadnought was the largest and most heavily defended. As Dr. Yoon Hana approached, the ship's captain made a desperate decision. "Human shuttle, this is Captain Vex of the hegemony ship destroyer. I will not let you stop our final weapon." The dreadnought began firing everything it had at the tiny shuttle. Dr. Yoon Hana's shields were failing under the massive assault. "Shuttle shields at 20%, she reported. "I don't think I can make it." "Doctor, abort the mission," Lee Hyun ordered. "Return to the ship." "Negative, Captain. If that weapon fires, billions of people will die." Dr. Yoon Hana pushed her shuttle's engines to maximum power and dove straight at the dreadnought. The ship's weapons tore through her remaining shields and began damaging the shuttle itself. Just as her ship was about to be destroyed, help came from an unexpected source. Admiral Thexara's flagship, the Dominion's Pride, moved between the shuttle and the dreadnought. "Dr. Yoon Hana, you are under Valerian protection," Thexara announced. "Complete your mission." The massive Valerian ship absorbed the dreadnought's fire, while Dr. Yoon Hana attached the final quantum destabilizer. "All devices planted," she reported. "Activating in 3, 2, 1. The 3 planet killers began to collapse instead of explode. The massive weapons that could have destroyed star systems simply faded away into harmless energy. "Chancellor." Mordex watched his final weapon disappear and knew that his war was over. "This is Captain Lee Hyun to all ships," came the human's voice over the communication system. "The immediate crisis is over, but now we need to talk about the future." "There is no future with humans in it," Mordex screamed over the communication. "Chancellor," Admiral Thexara interrupted. "You are under arrest by order of the Valerian Free Fleet for crimes against sentient beings." "You cannot arrest me. I am the Supreme Chancellor." "Not anymore," came a new voice. It was Senator Krell of the Delian Republic. "The Coalition Council has voted you out of office. You will face trial for your war crimes." Mordex looked around his command center. His own guards were no longer following his orders. His commanders were abandoning their posts. His empire had collapsed in a single day. "This is not over," he said bitterly. "Yes, it is," Lee Hyun replied. "Now we begin something new." On the Eternal Dawn's bridge, Admiral Park Soo looked at the tactical display showing hundreds of ships from dozens of species working together. "Captain," he said, "I think we just witnessed the birth of a new galactic government. Let's hope we can build something better." 6 months had passed since the Coalition's collapse, and the galaxy was transforming in ways no one had imagined possible. Captain Lee Hyun stood on the observation deck of the newly constructed Unity Station, watching ships from hundreds of different worlds arrive for the first Free Galactic Alliance assembly. The station itself was a marvel of cooperation. Human engineers had worked with Zerithian crystal shapers to create a structure that was both beautiful and functional. Delian architects had designed underwater sections for aquatic species, while Valerian flight specialists had built massive aerial chambers for flying beings. Captain, Communications Specialist Lee Da approached with a datapad. The final membership count is in. 437 worlds have joined the Alliance, with more requesting admission every day. And how many human survivors have we found? 12 million so far, sir. Dr. Song Yi's rescue teams have located 34 prison worlds where the Coalition was keeping humans in stasis. There are probably more. Lee Hyun nodded. 12 million humans from a species that once numbered in the billions. It was a miracle that so many had survived, but the loss still hurt. Admiral Park Soo joined them at the window. The Zerithian delegation just arrived, he reported. They brought something interesting. What kind of something? A gift for humanity. They have been working on a way to restore some of the destroyed human worlds. Restore them how? Crystal mind. Zenth believes their people can use their natural abilities to accelerate planetary healing. They want to begin with New Terra. Lee Hyun felt a strange emotion. New Terra had been his home before he joined the Deep Space Fleet. He had never expected to see it again. Do we know what condition the planet is in? Surprisingly good. Dr. Yoon Hana's voice came from behind them. She approached, carrying her own datapad, looking much more relaxed than she had during the crisis. The Coalition used orbital bombardment, but they did not poison the biosphere. With Zerithian help, we could have a livable world again within 10 years. In the main assembly hall, representatives from hundreds of species were gathering for the first Alliance Council meeting. The hall was designed to accommodate beings of every shape and size imaginable. Aquatic species had water-filled chambers, gaseous beings had specialized atmospheric containment, and energy-based life forms had specially shielded areas. Admiral Thexara took her place as the first elected council president. Her role was to moderate discussions, not to rule over other species. Every major decision required approval from the majority of member worlds. The first session of the Free Galactic Alliance Council is now in session, she announced. Our first order of business is the New Terra restoration project proposed by the Zerithian Collective. Crystal Mind Zenth rose from the crystalline delegation area. When Zerithians spoke, their voices sounded like musical chimes. The Collective offers our abilities to heal the wounded world of New Terra. We do this not for payment, but as an apology for our participation in the Coalition's crimes. Senator Krell of the Delian Republic spoke next. The Aquatic Assembly supports this project. We also offer our bioremediation technology to restore New Terra's oceans. More species offered assistance. The Valerians would provide atmospheric processors. The hegemony defectors would supply heavy construction equipment. Even species that had never heard of humans before the Alliance formed wanted to help. Commander Kim Jae, now serving as Human Defense Coordinator, addressed the Assembly. On behalf of all human survivors, we accept these generous offers. But we want this project to be more than just restoration. We want New Terra to become a symbol of what the Alliance can achieve when we work together. What do you propose? Admiral Thexara asked. We propose making New Terra the first truly integrated world in galactic history. Humans, Zerithians, Delians, Valerians, and any other species who want to live there peacefully. A world where our children grow up together and learn that diversity makes us stronger. The Assembly erupted in approving sounds from dozens of different species. Chirps, clicks, musical tones, and rumbling vibrations filled the hall. In the space, around Unity Station, a different kind of integration was happening. Engineer Kang Do was working with technical specialists from 20 different species to create new technologies that combined the best ideas from every civilization. The Delian biocomputers are incredible, he reported to Lee Hyun during their daily briefing. When we combine them with human AI technology and Zerithian crystal processing, we can create systems that think in ways none of us imagined. Any practical applications? We have developed a universal translator that works in real time for any known language, medical scanners that can treat any species, even faster than light communication systems that work across galactic distances. Dr. Song Yi had her own successes to report. Captain, the scientific cooperation programs are exceeding all expectations. We have made more discoveries in 6 months than most species made in centuries. Such as? Clean energy generation that works for any planetary environment. Food production methods that can feed any biological species. Even terraforming techniques that can create habitable worlds in previously impossible locations. But the most important changes were happening in the hearts and minds of beings across the galaxy. Intelligence Officer Wan Tai had been monitoring communications between worlds, and the results were encouraging. Captain, we are seeing massive cultural exchanges, he reported. Human music is becoming popular on Valerian worlds. Zerithian art forms are spreading through Delian colonies. Young beings of different species are becoming friends through the new communication networks. Any problems? Some resistance from older generations who remember coalition propaganda about other species. But the younger generations are adapting quickly to the new reality. Li Hyun was most interested in reports from Earth itself. General Kim Dae had emerged from the hidden bases in the asteroid belt and was now leading the reconstruction of humanity's home world. Captain Lee, General Kim Dae reported during their weekly communication, Earth is coming back to life. The surface, cities are being rebuilt with help from our new allies. The population is growing as we revive more humans from the hidden shelters. What about the lunar bases? Fully operational. We have even started the Mars terraforming project again, using new techniques developed by the Alliance. And the outer system installations? Better than ever. The shipyards are producing new vessels designed with Alliance technology. We should have the first human Alliance hybrid ships ready within a year. As the first Alliance Council session continued, larger questions were being addressed. How should the galaxy be governed? What rights did individual worlds have? How could they prevent another situation like the Coalition genocide? Admiral Park Soo had been working with constitutional experts from dozens of species to draft the Alliance Charter. The basic principle is simple, he explained to the Assembly. No single species or group of species can make decisions that affect everyone else. Every major choice must be approved by representatives of all member worlds. What? About military forces? Asked a representative from the former hegemony worlds. Each world maintains its own defense forces, Commander Kim Jae replied. But we also have the Alliance fleet for common defense. No one species controls it, and it cannot be used for aggressive action without unanimous approval. What about trade and resource distribution? Dr. Yoon Hana addressed this question. We have developed economic systems based on cooperation rather than competition. Every world contributes what it can and receives what it needs. No one goes without basics, necessities. The questions continued for hours, but the Alliance representatives worked through them with patience and wisdom. They had all seen what happened when fear and hatred ruled the galaxy. Now they were determined to build something better. As the day ended, Li Hyun found himself alone on the observation deck again, watching the ships of the Alliance fleet conduct joint training exercises. Human vessels flew alongside Zerithian crystal ships, Delian biocraft, and Valerian wing ships. 6 months ago, these species had been enemies. Now they were partners. Admiral Thexara joined him at the window. Captain, do you ever wonder if we are moving too fast? Trying to change too much too quickly? Every day, Li Hyun replied honestly. But then I remember what the galaxy was like under the Coalition. Fear, oppression, genocide. Even if we make mistakes, we cannot do worse than that. The young ones adapt so quickly, Thexara observed. I watched Valerian children playing with human children in the station's recreation area today. They do not see differences the way our generations do. That gives me hope for the future. Communications specialist Lee Da approached them with urgent news. Captain Admiral, we are receiving a priority message from the Outer Rim territories. What kind of message? Another human ship has awakened. The exploration vessel Deep Horizon. But this one is different. Different how? It has been awake for several years, Captain. and it has found something incredible. Lee Hyun and Thex Ara followed Lee Da to the communication center, where Captain Park Jun of the Deep Horizon was waiting on the main screen. Captain Lee, Admiral Thex Ara, I have news that will change everything we know about the galaxy, Captain Park Jun said with excitement. What have you found?